Hello, listeners, and welcome to Spooky Time with Mike and Mindy.
Hello.
Hi.
In this episode, we're going to talk about our experience in Disney World at Magic Kingdom for the Villains After Hours event that we went to last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about this. We've been wanting to make this podcast now forever since we came back, but there was some illness and it just
On
didn't...
both ends.
And, ooh.
Oh, I meant you and me.
Oh no, TMI. Apparently that's what we do on this podcast.
Right, so moving on. Now this was Thursday?
Yeah, it was last.
So the first Thursday
June
in
6th.
June. June
June
6th.
6th,
That was the
yes.
first, and that was the first event of this ever.
Yep, first ever brand new event. Disney's never done a villains themed after hours before. After hours they've done before at Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. We've attended both Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom after hours regular events, but this one had a specific theme to it. So, did you want to read the listeners the description?
All right, so a wonderfully wicked time. Grab an apple, pack your potions, and discover the joys of being bad as villains shine at this after-hours event. This summer, Magic Kingdom Park presents Disney Villains After Hours, a separately ticketed, special nighttime event showcasing some of Disney's best-loved baddies. Disney Villains After Hours lets a limited number of guests experience the park for an additional 3 hours after it closes, with low wait times at more than 20 classic attractions, including Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Space Mountain, and more. Plus, event tickets provide access to themed cuisine, photo ops, merchandise, entertainment, and park entry as early as 7 p.m.
Yeah, so really quick, I want to ask, did you have any, expectations leading into this event?
Yeah, so we talked about this on the drive up. So we were in Boca and we drove up to Orlando.
Yeah, so this event is in Florida for people that aren't familiar with Disney World versus Disneyland.
Yep.
Disney World is in Florida. We drove up from Boca Raton I was there for work, 3 hours back up north to Orlando.
And during that time, we talked a bit about this as we were getting ready for it. So my expectations were nothing. I usually try to stay in the dark as much as possible for pretty much all things like movies, Disney events, types of things like that. I really like to be surprised, and I try to go into everything with an open mind and not really have expectations.
Yeah.
But I did have some kind of things that I could build off of. So this, I was thinking it was going to be very similar to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Oh, yeah.
Also in Magic Kingdom, also separate ticketed event, also after the park closes.
Right.
And spooky themed.
Correct.
So villains have figured, okay, that's kind of spooky. Maybe it'll be like that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I thought I was going to see lots of villains. Not necessarily meet and greets, because they did specifically say not to expect meet and greets.
Which is something that I thought would happen.
And I expected villains music around the parks and just music in general in the themed lands that would remind me of certain movie parts. I don't know, in Pirates of the Caribbean, I just expected to hear more pirates stuff, and I don't know, maybe some Disney villains kids stuff, Descendants music around. So that kind of was my expectation, was I was going to get sort of a spooky fun side of Disney that you don't necessarily get in summer, but you walk into it like that, like the Halloween party, just like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was just the most, that's the thing that I have done that I could just think back to.
Sure.
So that's just as a default.
Yeah.
What I
that
kind
is
of,
the
I guess.
most equivocal thing we've done.
Yes, exactly.
But also this is an after hours event, so I knew that from the Magic Kingdom one we did before, the park would be low crowd, not a lot of people everywhere, easy to get on most rides. You get free waters, well, included with the price of admission, water, soda, popcorn, ice cream, popsicles.
Oh.
I think that covers the...
Yeah, that was the snacks and the refreshments.
Included snacks. So I expected to get all those things. But there was themed merch, so I was also excited for that. And I didn't know what exactly to expect there. I just knew I wanted to buy something.
Yeah.
So I think that covers our initial expectations. Did you have any villains that you were hoping to see in the parks? Or in the park?
I mean, so another thing too is the week prior, I was working out of a hotel room and I just had like a TV in the hotel room with Netflix on while I worked. So I just watched a bunch of Disney movies. So like I had watched Hercules, so I was excited about Hades. I had watched Mulan, so I was excited about well, I know they're the Hun, but I don't remember his name.
Shao Kahn, right?
No, Shao Kahn's from Mortal Kombat.
Oh gosh.
It's okay. But anyway, Shan Yu, something like that.
Yes, it is
Shan Yu. Yep. So, and I watched Pocahontas, so I was like, Governor Radcliffe,
yeah.
and so I had a couple of those like in mind just because they were fresh. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, I wasn't gunning for any type of villain. I thought it would have been really cool just to, I don't know, see any of them, just see what they did or how they presented them. Because
Yeah.
Disney's smart like that. They won't just have people there if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sometimes, mostly.
For the most part.
Yeah.
It's a bit more
90%
intentional.
of the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, exactly what would be kind of the setup or what villains would make sense to be there. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, you're never going to see the Green-Horned King.
I know, from the Black Cauldron. Like, he is the most BA character.
Diabolical,
Yeah.
evil, like, the like baddest of the bad villain of
Yeah.
Disney ever. And they have just swept him under the rug
Yeah,
because
I
he
mean-
is too extreme. We're talking about raising the dead, blood sacrifice.
Yeah, he's pretty intense. I also don't know how they would incorporate him.
Well,
at
that's what
all.
I mean. So, like,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how. But I thought maybe they might have done like a Chernobog
yeah.
like over the castle, because one of the things they do now is they do projections on the castle.
Yeah,
so
I
maybe
was
they might
hoping
have
to see that.
projected a Chernobog from Fantasia,
Yeah.
at the top there.
That would have been really cool.
Maybe, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe they will do that for the Halloween party.
Maybe.
My favorite villain.
Or who were you excited to see, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
favorite villain, or who I was excited to see, besides Hades, because obviously. I love Dr. Facilier.
Yes.
I love him.
Yep.
He is
From
like,
Princess and the Frog.
yeah, he is like my guy. I think he is awesome. He's one of those villains that is still relatable, and just like kind of a normal guy. He's got friends on the other side, but it's different.
He's not powerful in and of himself.
Yeah, and I love it because there's stuff at peril for him in his story as well, and he's got his own battles. And I mean, all the villains do, but I just feel like his story is more developed,
And I think, and you talked about this a bit before, so to just kind of like restate it from what you said earlier, which is that he's got his friends on the other side that he gets help from, but it's kind of like, it's a catch-22 because he also has to do their bidding.
Oh, yeah.
So like he's got power through them, but they also control him as well.
But it's like a contract.
Right.
He can't just do whatever he wants with this power. It's not unlimited power.
Which is different than a lot of other Disney villains, where they're in control, they're in charge.
Yeah.
But his power is because of these other people, and he's got to do what they say.
Yeah. Plus, he's just super fun. He's super charming. He's got the jokes. I love him. I think he's awesome. So he was in the event, in the stage show. So I was really excited to see that. So let's start jumping into what we actually did at the After Hours event. So the stage show, Villains Unite the Night. They performed this 3 times right in front of the castle. Mm-hmm. The description is, Hades and Meg from Hercules set the castle stage ablaze in this all-new stage show, also featuring appearances by Jafar, the Queen, Dr. Facilier, and Maleficent. So it had like 5 pretty hardcore villains.
5 of the big ones.
My favorite thing about this show was that every time one of these villains came out, the projections on the castle changed to represent that villain. So Hades literally did set the castle with blue fire, and it had like skulls and reminded you of the underworld and was awesome. And then Jafar had like a snake on his, and the queen had an apple, and like whatever. Dr. Facilier's was my favorite, obviously, because it was covered in his friends from the other side, and I just love the colors. They pop, and oh my gosh, it was awesome. And then Maleficent obviously had a really awesome castle too.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's got the dragon. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
She is the dragon.
Yeah. So this show, I thought it was really great, but at first I was confused.
It pushed the limits of Disney.
It really did.
For me.
For Magic Kingdom Disney.
Right. So here I am, Magic Kingdom Disney, and we're in the front of this thing, and it's villains theme, so we're like, okay, it's gonna be a little bad, there's gonna be some peril, right?
Yeah.
But they come out, and it was kind of like a bit innuendo-y, and there was shirtless fire sword twirling stuff, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
It felt like they needed to have alcohol served at this event, but they didn't. And it felt a little bit like something that Universal would do, not Disney.
Yeah.
So it felt a little uncharacteristic or out of place. So when I first saw the show, I didn't quite know what to think, because you don't expect those things in a Disney park.
Yeah, there was some mental processing I had to do to understand what was happening, because you go to Magic Kingdom, you expect a certain, I don't know,
experience.
Yeah. And I didn't not like the experience. I liked it. I enjoyed the show a lot. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I was initially confused.
Right, right. It was great, but you're just sitting there, you're like, Did Meg just come on to that
thing?
guy? Oh,
is she swaying like that?
Okay,
it was a little risque and
for Disney.
Yeah,
for Disney. Yeah,
I mean, very PG, super PG for sure. Even G,
but really. Some insinuation.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's But I mean, it was totally fine. I just wasn't.
Oh yeah,
wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, same.
But I thought they did a great job with it. It was cool, and I don't want to give away the whole thing, but there was this theme throughout it, and how it came together at the end was kind of really cool.
Oh my gosh,
I liked it.
The final castle is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll post pictures on our Instagram of each of the castles, which is at Spooky Time with Mike and Mindy. I'll post each picture there that you'll be able to see what we're talking about, because they're so cool.
If you want to follow along.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add about the show? Because I don't want to give away the show.
I don't either, and I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I think definitely worth a watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even just for the projections alone, which I guess I do want to touch on that, is they announced new fireworks this year for the Halloween party and for the Christmas party.
Yeah.
And seeing these projections, I hope that they're just a test for what's to come for the Halloween party, because they were amazing.
Yeah.
And if I can ever see these castle projections again, like these specific ones, I'm going to be in heaven. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. One last thing about the show, which is just to say it, to give an accurate recounting, is since it was the first night, there were some sound feedback issues, which fine.
The
happen.
mics went out a little bit here and there. We were close enough to the stage, though.
We could totally just hear them anyway.
Yeah.
But it was But first time they're doing it.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll
night,
clear it up really quick.
through.
But that did happen.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the second thing is Maleficent at night. See Maleficent the dragon as she creeps throughout the park, breathing fire for the first time at night. So the Maleficent that I'm talking about is actually that steampunk dragon that you see in the Festival of Fantasy parade, and was in the news for catching fire, I think, last year.
Yeah, so this dragon breathes fire, and it breathed a bit too much fire, and it caught fire, and they had to evacuate the park. No one was injured, and everyone was fine.
They didn't evacuate the park, but they did.
Sorry.
Yeah, that would be intense. But they did make people leave the area until the smoke cleared and everything. They were able to recover the dragon.
And brought her back.
Yeah.
Resurrected her for this nighttime spectacular.
Well, she's back in the daily parade as well.
That too.
But it's different. So at night, they had really cool metal music along with her. And they did have the ravens and stuff with her going down the street.
So this would be people dressed as kind of raven type crow-like people.
Essentially like
walking
the
along with
puppeteers.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
puppeteers walking along with this dragon.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was awesome seeing it at night, and then they actually added into the sound system a rumbling for her breathing the fire. So it just felt more real and more intense.
Yeah.
And I know you really dug this. You
Oh,
loved
yeah.
it. You were like, why are we sitting here? Why are we sitting here? Because I was like, we're going to sit here. We're going to see this. And he was like, I don't know why we're doing this. And I'm like, trust me. It's
Yeah,
going
I
to
was
be
like,
cool.
I've seen the dragon in the parade. I know what's happening. And then, yeah, it was just, it was really good. I think what did it for me too was honestly perspective. So the last time that we saw the dragon, we were standing and right at the end of the parade route.
Yes.
This time we were sitting.
Yeah.
So the dragon was much bigger.
Right.
And also we were a lot closer.
Yeah.
So the scale was different for me. So I felt a bit more immersed in it because like more of my field of vision was just this enormous fire-breathing dragon. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and at night, it also kind of gets rid of any of those details that you notice that make it not as
Yes, the nighttime
real.
helps to kind of like wash away the realism
Yeah.
and you know, make that fantasy a bit more, well, able or capable,
Yeah.
you know, real to you. So, yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was another awesome thing that was a part of this event that you're not going to see.
Yeah, and just a thing too that they just decided to do that totally makes sense with this event.
Yep.
But you wouldn't. I don't know. I didn't even think about something like that.
Yeah.
So it was just like a cool thing that they did it. So, she did, or the path of the dragon was twice. So
3 times.
Oh, 3.
There were 2 times where she didn't go like
through to the end.
yeah, all the
So
way to
one
the end.
was like a loop around the castle, and the last time was a loop down Main Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think she went to the hub all
Starting
3
in
times.
Frontierland, we should say, where all parades start.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Then next, I think we're going to talk about PhotoPass. So there were PhotoPass opportunities around the park, and this is something I was really, really excited about. Just because they do really fun magic shots now all the time.
They do, and exclusive ones. See,
Yeah.
that's the thing is Disney has definitely decided to capitalize on the world of Instagram with their walls, right?
Yeah.
So they have the walls that are certain ways, and all the girls get their gram pics.
Yeah.
And same thing, same principle, but with magic shots.
Yeah.
Because they are making certain magic shots exclusive to certain events. You
Yeah.
can only get this picture at this time.
Yeah.
So they definitely did that here.
Yeah.
Which is super cool, though.
It was really cool. So the ones that I know that were featured throughout the park, they had different villain characters pop in with you. So there was Scar in Adventureland, Oogie Boogie for some reason was in Tomorrowland, and then Maleficent was back in Fantasyland. I don't think we saw any other ones. There were PhotoPass people along Main Street, as there always is, but I only saw them holding things like a sign for the event, and
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing anything really special, and I don't think we missed anything because I haven't seen anybody say, oh, this amazing PhotoPass.
Right.
You know.
One thing I will say, too, just like as a general statement, I don't know how you would get all of it done. You know what I mean? Like if you're going into this event, like I want to eat all the things, drink all the things, see all the things, do all the things, take all the pictures. Not going to happen.
There'd be
not
no way.
Not in one night.
Yeah.
So
and not at this event, because this event was about the theme. It wasn't about the rides.
correct.
So
Totally.
ride wait times, the regular ride waits were just walk-ons for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs still had a wait, and then the
Sure.
2 rides that we'll talk about that had special theming
Right.
had a little bit longer waits.
But just in general, like
Yeah.
so, like if you wanted to get all the pictures and like,
Yeah.
good luck to you.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be on it, which I think is the mark of a good event. I mean, that's part of what I think just in general is so great about Disney is that it never ends.
Yeah.
There's no completing it. You feel like it's this big thing and it's always never going to be undone, but in a good way because you always have something new and fun to do. So
Yeah.
I actually like that about this event. It might drive some people nuts if they're trying to check everything off the list, but to me, I'm like, wow, look how much there is to do. I didn't even get it all done. How great.
Yeah. So this is like the third topic or third item that we're talking about. This is the first one that we kind of missed some stuff. So we did see the show. We we did see Maleficent. For PhotoPass, we only got a picture with Oogie and we got a picture with Maleficent, but we did not get the picture with Scar.
Yeah.
The line for that was very long compared to the other lines because Maleficent was set up to have 2 photographers, and so was Oogie, but I think Scar only had 1 photographer when we were by them, so they just had a much longer line.
Right.
So, yeah, and PhotoPass, it's something that you can pay for from Disney. It's professional photographers. I didn't mention that, but you can look online.
Disney cast members with cameras.
Yeah.
If you have like there's Memory Maker, or if you have an annual pass, Memory Maker's included, and you can like download the images online. So
all the info is online. So just look up
is.
Disney PhotoPass and go to the official webpage and you'll get all the
you can get all the
need.
details. But yes, that is a prerequisite to getting those pictures.
Yeah.
Is it needs to be taken with their cameras.
Exactly.
Okay.
So next, let's talk a little bit about the specialty food and beverages. So they had some themed desserts, which we didn't get any of them. There were 3 drinks, and we did want to get all 3 of them, but we honestly only ended up getting 1 of the 3. They're all themed after villains, so I'll just read through them. There's the DeVille's Treat, which is a brownie, inspired obviously by Cruella DeVille. There's a Dr. Facilier tarot card tart, so it has a card actually on top of it, which is super cute. Headless Horseman brokey. I can't say that word right. It's a brownie cookie that has the Headless Horseman chocolate on top of it. So those were the specialty food items. I think there was also like Zerg's noodles and Hades nachos. They had some other things too, but these are like the dessert offerings that they had. They're not listed in the map that they gave us, which is another problem. The map did not have all the details, so that kind of was confusing.
Although the map is super cool.
The map is awesome. Maybe I'll post a picture of it too, just so people can see it. So the drinks are Hades Temptation, which is a non-alcoholic purple Cosmo topped with a gummy worm. There's a Dragon's Breath Float, which is lemon soft serve, cherry syrup, and Sprite topped with dragon's eyes, which are green cherries. And I'm super sad we missed this one because I really wanted to get that one. So it sounds really good, but we were just so hot. So I'm like, by that, when you just don't want to put anything else in your body because it's so hot.
Yeah, it was really like, and that was another thing too, just in general, that kind of like colored how we felt or experienced the whole night too, was that it was really like uncomfortably humid and hot. So the whole like eating, drinking thing was not really about it.
Yeah.
But
there was one thing, though, that I was like, I am getting this. Like, we even went back for it because they sold out of them and had to get more.
Now, when you say sold out, we'll just say they ran out.
They ran out.
Because you didn't have to buy them.
Right. Well, no, you did. We paid for this. These are all things you have to pay for, just to be clear.
Thanks for correcting the record.
Yeah, popcorn and soda and ice cream.
No, you're right.
Those
you're
are
right.
free.
Nope, you're correct.
These specialty items do cost you money. And I feel like the drink that we bought was like $6 or $7. It wasn't a cheap drink. And I would say it was worth it just for the experience alone. So the one that we got was Yzma's Llama Potion, which is described as a transformative strawberry chilled concoction covered by an evil cloud, which is really just strawberry Fanta and dry ice. But I loved it. Mike?
It did not turn us into llamas.
It did not.
I'm just going to say disappointed, very disappointed.
I mean, I'm not. I didn't want to become a llama.
No, I know. Neither did I. So this one was really cool because it had like the dry ice fizz. Mm-hmm. So similar to the Flaming Moe at Universal Studios in the Simpsons area, they have a special compartment underneath the plastic cup where they put dry ice, and then it bubbles up.
Yeah.
So the dry ice isn't in your actual drink, it's underneath it, and the bubbles go through your drink. So it's like a bubbling, cool drink. It was very messy. It spilled everywhere, but it was delicious.
Yeah, I mean, they even had trays set up when they would put it down on the counter.
And that was filled.
They would dump out because it would bubble everywhere. Like, it was very hard to drink, but it was so fun. But all the bubbles would just go up your nose. And but it tasted good, and it was just it was really about the experience.
It was
I
fun.
think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was hard to take any pictures of it because it was in Tomorrowland in an area where it was pretty dark. So I wouldn't say this is an Instagrammable thing, but maybe some genius on Instagram got it.
It is just a challenge.
It is. Yeah. So
Not impossible.
prove me wrong, world.
Yep.
And then, let's see. Do we want to talk merch? So, unless you have anything else to say about the food.
I just wish we had it.
Yeah.
I wish we had more. I think we heard about the purple noodles. Those were vegan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We haven't told anyone on the podcast that we're vegan yet. We're vegan.
Oh, we're vegan.
So we obviously...
So we're also annoying.
So we obviously did not have any of these, brownies or anything.
Right.
But they did have a noodle dish that we would have been able to enjoy.
If we knew about it. So that's why I said that is because since this was the first night, it was also the media night.
Yes.
And so some of the people that we follow, they, review Disney foods and specifically what's vegan and what's not.
Yeah.
So had that have happened, we would have known what our options were ahead of time.
Yeah. The noodles were actually located where Yzma's potion was.
Really?
So we would have been able to pick up both at the same time. But
Who knew?
But yeah, I mean, we didn't even know because the map is not very descriptive.
At least this version of it.
This version
They'll
of the
probably
map
update
is
it,
a
but-
little confusing and not as easy to read as I think it should be. But now that the event has happened, it's easier for people to look things up and find where things are.
Which is, I think, why Disney does the media nights, because it gets just much more information out that they wouldn't necessarily think that they have to communicate or that people would ask about that didn't know.
Right.
So, but...
Nah,
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, that's what happens when
okay.
you go on the first night of something. I'd rather go and miss something than miss the event entirely.
Right. So, yeah, we were down there, so it's either we did it this night or we
didn't do it.
do it.
It's only offered 10 nights this summer, so really you only have 10 opportunities.
9 now.
9. Well, tonight is another event.
8.
So, yeah. So, yeah, it's even less than before. But maybe they'll bring this event back next year. I kind of hope they do. It makes me want to go in summer again next year if they have it. So, we'll see.
Maybe early summer. Yeah, but all right. So, merch if you want to.
Yeah. So the logo for the After Hours event was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was Hades, just like the top of Hades' head with the flames, and you could tell it was Hades with the blue and stuff. But it also has Cinderella's castle inside of it, along with some silhouettes of the other villains that are in the stage show. So I thought the logo was amazing. It was perfect. It was probably the best logo Disney's done in a while that has really been like, wow, I love that.
I agree.
Yeah,
the logo was really awesome. It almost made me want to buy all of this stuff.
All of it, yeah.
Almost.
But there were 4 different shirts, and there was one that I would have bought if it didn't have a pocket on the front. I don't understand what pockets on the front of shirts are for. Like, I don't get it. But, if that's your style, that's you. Good for you.
Yeah,
Rock
totally.
you.
Props to you.
It drives me crazy. That design on the back of the shirt had a bunch of villains on it, which I thought was awesome, and I would have bought that. But the other 3 shirts just really weren't my style either. All of them weren't my style.
They had a hat too, right?
There was a hat. I didn't see the hat anywhere.
Right. So that was the thing too, is the merch wasn't necessarily in the places they were supposed to be, or not all the offerings were at each place where the merch was.
Yeah, so in the map, it only has 2 pieces of merch. It has the event-exclusive tumbler and then event-exclusive t-shirt. So I knew that there were more things because the people I follow on Instagram were at the Contemporary showing off some of the items that would be available at the event. So I knew that there would be a phone case. I knew that there would be like extra shirts that they weren't showing and a hat. But the map, again, only has 2 items. So we looked for a lot of things, but it was mostly just shirts and tumblers that we found. I bought the tumbler because I loved it. It's like a holographic silver type of logo, like lettering, and then it has the logo on it. And
Mindy just loves cups.
it's a Tervis.
We're just gonna call it for what it is. She just loves her
I
cups.
love cups.
She loves her cups.
I buy a mug. I buy cups.
Mugs,
whatever.
cups. Loves them.
I can't get enough cups.
You really can.
But I didn't see the phone case. I think that those things were up specifically in the Emporium only and not at all of the merchandise locations.
Towards the front of the park on Main Street. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So we ended up missing some of that stuff, but I don't know if I would have bought the hat or the phone case. Well, I probably would have bought the phone case actually, but I didn't know where it was. I was exhausted by the end of the event when I was back up by the Emporium.
Yeah, I mean, just for us specifically, I mean, we'd worked a full day and then also drove 3 hours. So we weren't, the most refreshed.
Also, Starbucks and Joffrey's both had closed by the time we were like, oh, dang, we need coffee.
Yup.
So we were trying to
It was too late. There's no turning back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I thought the merch was awesome, though. The selection. I like having specifically themed exclusive merch available, and I hope to see that more from Disney, and I know they did that for the H2O Glow event as well, so it's good to see this stuff starting to pop up, just because I love my cups.
Just gotta have them cups.
Let's see. Oh.
We're gonna move on to my biggest regret.
Yes. Talk about it.
Face painting.
Yep.
Villains face painting.
Who would have thought?
We are talking like 10 to 12 options per standing sign that they had at the station, and four signs. This was a wide array of villains themed face painting.
Yeah.
And I'm so upset. It is my biggest regret because after this event, we literally drove to the airport to drop off the car and get on the plane.
Yep.
So I would have had to go through airport.
We didn't sleep after this event.
No, we didn't. We pretended like we did. But I would have had to go through airport security and the plane ride back before I would have been able to get to anywhere where I could have properly washed it off. So
yeah. I'm so bummed about it. Like
they were really
awesome. Amazing. They had every
and they were
kind
like
of
unique
villain.
designs. Like it wasn't like the villain. It was like
themed.
Aspect of the villains incorporated into things on your face.
Yeah, I bet there's pictures out there.
If we ever go back.
Oh yeah.
If we ever go back and we don't have to go to the airport immediately after, I am getting my face painted. And by the way, we went by it a couple times, and I don't think there was a line for it.
There was never really a line. It does cost money.
It does.
Okay, I'm letting people know that this does cost additional money.
That's important because I goofed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that it did cost money. But there weren't a lot of people in line to do it.
Well,
a lot of people were going up to look at it.
Yes.
And then turning around.
I think the thing is, too, there were not a lot of kids at this event. I would say that you would see tweens and up, and not even really a lot of tweens. More, it's more older crowd.
I would say young adult.
Yeah.
I think young...
Instagrammers beyond.
Yeah, young adult. I would say, out of high school, right around
millennials.
Right around high school age because school is done at this
depending on the location,
mostly done. So, so I feel like it was high school to young adult age.
Yes.
Because one of the other things too we didn't talk about is that this was encouraged to be a costumed event.
Yes, it was.
You could go, as they say, Disney bounding, or I don't know what the non-Disney term for that is. So
you dress inspired by characters.
Right. So if you're
going to be Mickey Mouse, you wear red shorts and yellow shoes and a black top.
You're allowed to do that normally throughout the day, but you're not allowed to dress like characters.
Mm-hmm.
But for this event specifically, you could come dressed up as characters. And I would say there were some people that definitely went all out.
Yeah, there were quite a few really dressed up Cruellas. I think that was the most obvious.
Really?
Oh, you didn't see Cruella? Oh my gosh.
I saw a lot of Maleficents and so many female Hades.
And a lot of
which
Gastons.
Was awesome.
So
really?
A lot of the men were dressed as Gaston.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really notice the lady.
There was a lot
the Lady
to see.
Hades, so.
Lady Hades. Ooh, I like that. Lady Hades.
Or Hades Ladies.
Hades Ladies.
Ooh, I like that. Hades Ladies.
Hades Ladies.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like you should get a shiny blue jacket like the Pink Ladies, but it says Hades Ladies on the back. That'd be awesome, guys.
Oh, man.
New Disney idea. Come on, Disney. Hades Ladies blue biker jackets. That'd be awesome.
That's your that's what I'm going to task you with creating an image of.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, face painting, bummed out that we missed it.
It's okay. Also.
Yeah. I mean, what one would you have gotten? Because we did take a look at them.
We did, and like honestly, why I started off with how many there were because I was just blown away by the options.
Yeah.
The one that really like sticks out in my head that I remember specifically was the Oogie Boogie one.
How would you do that with your facial hair, though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd have to stick with like the butterflies around my eyes or something, right?
I really
nice,
loved
pretty eye accentuations.
the Dr. Facilier one was awesome too. That's the one I would have gotten. It would have matched my shirt. So, because we both did wear themed shirts. I wore a Dr. Facilier Friends on the Other Side shirt, and Mike wore a Oogie Boogie.
Yes. Yeah.
Set in the Moon shirt. It was really cool. It's glow in the dark and stuff. So, a lot of people were like, "Where'd you get the shirt?" So.
Yeah, it was. It was a Nightmare Before Christmas themed shirt where it's like Jack sitting on that hill with the spiral. Except the spiral was Oogie Boogie's head.
Yes.
So, yes.
And the moon and stuff glowed in the dark.
Yeah, and some people did mention that, but I was upset because I could have had the Sid shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the week before we were at the Disney store, and there was all the new Toy Story merch, and they had a Sid shirt, the black shirt with the white skull, and we didn't get that, and I was like, oh, man. Because
we didn't know we were going to this event either at that point.
We didn't.
This was kind of a last minute decision.
It was last minute. But, it's okay.
Yeah.
I really would have, I thought that would have been super cool.
Oh, yeah.
Which we can bring that up a little bit later.
Okay.
But, yeah, so we definitely had our theme shirts, but we didn't, go dressed as anybody.
Yeah.
We weren't that cool.
Yeah. Speaking of fun themes, or kind of fun themes, Disney themed 2 of the rides this time to the Villains Night. We only experienced one of them, not both of them. So we experienced Space Mountain. It had a Villains soundtrack to it, I guess. I couldn't hear it.
They said it did. So really quick.
It was also in complete darkness.
Unlike the parties, which closed the park, wait an hour, then the parties start. For this after hours, the park closes, but there's still guests in the park.
Yeah, so there were still people in line for Space Mountain when the park closed that got the Villains overlay, even though they didn't pay for the Villains event.
Right, and why... Right, that, but also, too, it made the lines a lot longer, because all the people going at the end of the day with their Fast Passes were in the same line as all the people with the party.
Yeah.
Or not the party, the after hours event. So the after hours event started, and we're in line with all the people from that had end of day Fast Passes.
Yeah.
And so by the end of the night, it was a 20-minute wait. But I think
we waited about 60 minutes.
Yeah, about an hour.
Which is a huge waste of our event time. I didn't realize
that's
what we were walking into.
Well, we didn't even say that.
Yeah.
How long the event was from.
It was 3 hours.
10 to 1.
Yep.
So 3 hours. So an hour of it.
Yep.
Maybe that's why we felt like we couldn't get as much done.
Right. But, yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of it. If I did it again, I would wait to go on any of the rides
until at the end.
Until the very end and hop on Space Mountain when there's 5 minutes left of the event, because they have to let you on the ride if you're in the queue.
That's a tip.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Space Mountain was completely dark with a different soundtrack.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we did do the Tomorrowland Transit Authority.
Yes. It's a must-do for us.
It is. So it's pretty much like you sit down and it just kind of leisurely moves you around Tomorrowland, but it takes you through Space Mountain. So we didn't know that there actually was a villains aspect to that Space Mountain overlay until we did that, because as you're going slow through Space Mountain, you're closer to the speakers, and so we could hear the villains laughing.
Yeah,
which
and
you
they had some quotes and things.
But you could not hear that on the ride itself.
Oh no, it was impossible to hear what they were trying to pump in. So really, all it was just in complete darkness and a bunch of woohoos and rumbling. So I was so disappointed.
It felt a little flat.
It felt cheap and they did not even try. And maybe it's not possible to do what they do in Disneyland at Disney World, because the Space Mountain rides are different, but Disneyland knows how to overlay Space Mountain. They've got it down. They have actual imagery. They have the music in the chairs. Their cars are different though, that have the speaker systems and stuff.
Right.
It's a very different mountain. And if that's the case, then just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, just don't...
Just have Space Mountain be Space Mountain.
Yeah, and if you
don't
want...
set
be
our
like,
expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be like, it's in darkness, you know, and just be straightforward and honest about it, and I'll be like, cool. Like, good to know. I'm going to miss it. Like, it's not worth it for me.
Yeah.
It's just not. But I love Space Mountain in Disneyland, and I wish that those type of overlays were available in Disney World as well.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
did you enjoy it, though? I mean, because it's Space Mountain.
It's Space Mountain.
Liked it.
I always like Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Although I just wasn't expecting to have to wait as long as we did.
Yeah.
So like, I always like Space Mountain, but
It's not worth it. I think that made me like it less.
To top it off, like, it took so long to unload the car too that we missed the chance to get the photo pass.
Yep,
for
we
it as
didn't
well.
even get our photo
It was like
pass.
icing on the cake, but that's fine. So that was like, I would say that was the low part of
Yeah.
our experience with this.
Yeah, it kind of ended our regular day in the park, and when we walked out, it was villains time. You know,
That's a good way to think about it. It was like
yeah.
the transition had occurred.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
What about the other one?
the other ride was Pirates that they had a layover. Well, I wouldn't call it a layover. That they inserted Pirates into, and I'm a little bummed that we did miss it.
Live actors.
Yeah, live actors.
Dressed as pirates.
Yeah, so I know there was a female pirate in the queue line, and there was a few other males, I think,
Was
in
there
the queue.
Barbosa? People kept saying
Yep.
Barbosa.
So I'm a little sad because Barbosa, they had a live actor Barbosa on the ride, and that would have been super cool. But we just never made it over there because we had already ridden Pirates that day.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know, Pirates is Pirates, and I don't really like being heckled at. Like, it gets me like really self-conscious, and like I just don't like the interaction, which is another reason I like these after hours events a lot, is because of my anxiety that I have. It's really nice to have low crowds and like
Yeah.
not all of this hustle and bustle, and you have actual space, and if you need a quiet space to find, you can find one. So I'm a little sad we missed Pirates, but I'm also not sad at the same time. But
Yeah.
you're probably sad you missed it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like I said, I don't think there's a way to do it all.
Yeah, I mean, it just means it's another reason to come back.
Oy.
So another thing I wrote down was the area music in the park. It was not what we expected.
Nope.
Do you want to talk about it, since you're more of a music person than I am?
Oh, sure. Well, like I said, like how we started this was the expectations are kind of what we thought.
Mm-hmm.
So with Mickey's Not So Scary, they actually have music, Disney music, playing in each land, and the music for each land is, well, the music selected makes sense for the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're in Fantasyland, they play stuff like the Ugly Bug Ball. You know, it's
Yeah.
cutesy. It's not so scary.
Or the Fab Five are singing like a spooky fun song.
Right, but they'll have different music,
Yeah.
you know, depending on the land.
Pirates is in Adventureland, like I was expecting.
Right, they'll have
you
the
know.
Pirates music playing
Yeah.
there. I didn't really notice any of that.
There was music, but it was more
I didn't
like
notice it.
background
Yeah.
horror-esque, but not horror.
Yeah,
it was like I
it's-
was at Halloween Horror Nights, but not in like a specific area, just like their general sound. It's really hard to explain. That's why I was trying to get you to explain it. But
Oh,
if
I'm
you didn't
sorry.
even hear
No,
it, it meshed so well with the event that it just you didn't even notice.
Honestly, I don't remember picking it out, which is that you're right.
Yeah.
That is weird for me.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it.
Oh.
So
I mean, it was there. It was quiet. It was like you were on Space Mountain and can't really hear it unless you're trying really hard to hear
we'll just say that the theme of the night was overall sound issues.
Yeah, there were sound issues overall. I would definitely
That's
say.
okay. You know, it's first one. I'm sure they'll get better at
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
yeah, just had to change those presets.
Yeah. So what do you think? After Hours versus like having the After Hours villains theme. What do you like more? Did it add to it? Would you prefer to have gone to a regular After Hours event?
I feel really conflicted about this. So like, you know, when
I mean, you
it's
could
like
just say both.
when
'cause-
it's like a Mickey's Not So Scary or when it's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party,
Mm-hmm.
like there's like party specific things. So you go into it with the mindset of, I want to get those pictures, I want to
Yeah.
eat the cute things,
Yeah.
I want to do that specific stuff, and I'll catch a ride or two along
Yeah.
the way. After hours for me was, okay, this is it. This is my opportunity to get on every single ride. I'm going to cram them all in. Everything's a walk on.
Yeah.
This kind of makes it challenging because you feel like, well, I want to go do the exclusive villains things,
Yep.
but it's not a party.
Right.
And it's after hours, so I'm supposed to try and go on the rides with no
Right.
lines, but because there's other things, I don't want to not miss the party. It's not,
Right.
sorry, I keep saying party. I don't want to miss the exclusive villain stuff.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, I get, it is technically after hours.
Right.
It's not a party. I get it. It's conflicting. I don't know. I mean, I definitely overall, I'm glad we did it. I think it's
yeah.
cool. I think it's worth doing. I think, especially if you're a big fan of Disney villains, yeah. It's a must do. You can't miss it. But, I don't know. Like I said, I just feel conflicted about it because it's like after hours to me means just focus on getting
Yeah.
through those rides because the parks are always busy. So
Yep.
this is how you get through them. But I didn't want to go through the rides because I wanted to do
Right.
the
Which
villain
is
stuff
which is why Main Street was so crowded because the show was there. People were there for the villains. It was very obvious that people were there for the villains.
And thank you for bringing that up
Mm-hmm.
because this after hours, the villains versus normal after hours, there was much more clustering.
Yeah.
In the normal after hours, you don't see.
There's
but
nobody.
There's maybe up to 5 people in your field of vision at
Yeah.
any given point in time because everyone's just so spread out throughout
And they're
the
going on
park.
rides and stuff, not
So-
staying out watching shows.
Right. Whereas this one, I felt there was a lot more clustering
Yeah.
outside of rides and not as many people in the queue lines or on the rides or
Right.
getting off the rides.
Exactly.
So it felt a bit more crowded.
Yeah.
Probably was the same amount of people,
Yeah.
but they're all in one place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm concerned that Disney's going to see that and be like, oh, we can increase capacity for this type of event, even though it's labeled as after hours with lower capacity. I'm interested to see how this all shakes out and what ends up happening, or if even this event sells, I mean, we were going to do this regardless if it was villains or just regular after hours because we wanted to go back to Disney and squeeze in as much as we could before we flew home. So I would have paid for either one. Whereas, I mean, a non ride person, maybe they would have gone to this,
Right.
but wouldn't have gone to the
Or
other one.
your Florida resident annual pass holder,
Yeah.
are they going to pay extra to
Oh,
go to
no.
this?
Yeah.
Well, but you know what
for the villains one, yeah. I mean, there are discounts too for AP and yeah.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's an exclusive thing. So, right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
who does it? People that are flying in from their, annual Disney trip or the, people
Yeah.
that live in Florida that go there all the time. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So let's see. I did want to mention that we got in a few hours early. So we were in the park for about 6 hours. We got in 11 rides, still saw the show, saw Maleficent, got Photo Pass, got the merch, got the Isma's potion. So we pretty much did all these things and 11 rides in 6 hours. We did have 3 fast passes for the before the event
Yep.
set up. So we ended up getting on 4 rides before it started, which you can do fast passes with this ticket because you're allowed in the park at 7. So between 7 and 8, 8 and 9, 9 and 10, you can have 3 fast passes set up. So you can also theoretically get as many, if not more, than we did in. At the end of the event, I think it was 140 or something, or 130, and we were like, okay, let's just get on some rides. And so we were hopping around Fantasyland, just running into different queues to get on however many rides we could at the very end, because like you said, I'm used to after hours events, me getting on rides.
Yep.
So that's what we did at the very end. Rather than go to Main Street. I think everybody else went to Main Street to watch Maleficent the last time go all the way through the park.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
Right.
But at the very end, there were villains that were up on top of the train station heckling people, heckling the crowd as they were leaving, which was one of my favorite parts of the event.
That was really cool. So, yeah, they were up there, they were just ad-libbing.
Yep.
I mean, they were just in character
Yep.
and then just, commenting, to the crowd or like asking the crowd, like Gaston was flexing and
Yep.
people cheered. Like
Yep.
that was, I think, probably the coolest part of it that wasn't advertised.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was awesome.
Well, and I think that's something that this event missed because they didn't do meet and greets, but tried to cover without having those really long lines. Because if you had the villains throughout the park for meet and greets, no matter how badly we all want them, so it would be a super long time to try. It would be like Space Mountain waits, to try and get to see some characters. So what, you're going to wait and maybe see 2 or 3 characters and miss the rest of the event? Like a meet and greet wouldn't work. So I think this is the closest thing we got, and I really liked it. I liked that that's how the night ended.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Unexpected and super fun.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is there any way to improve the event?
Well, I mean, personally, I know the meet and greets are unsustainable and don't make sense. Don't care.
But you want them anyways.
Want them anyway. Don't care. I want the meet and greets. Also, too, Villains Kids.
Yeah.
What is up?
Where were they?
Just in general, Disney, like, come on, embrace
Give
your
us
stuff.
Descendants.
Give us Descendants. Like, that's one thing I will say is, like, when it comes to, like, Disney Channel shows, Disney Channel original movies, Disney's, like, very much, like, we're going to wait until it's 10 years old, then we'll put it in the parks. And it's like they never capitalize on it when it's in the moment because they never are sure if it's going to be successful.
I think you're wrong because remember when Camp Rock and High School Musical, when those were coming out, and in Hollywood Studios they had the actual stage
they did.
Go up and down with like people doing the songs and dances, and they had an entire store dedicated to like Disney Channel merch.
So why did it all go away?
Because maybe it wasn't lucrative.
No, that was my
People
expectation.
probably weren't into it.
They set my expectations.
And now you want it.
And now I want it all the time.
Or having zombies. Zombies is a great Disney Channel original movie, guys.
And what's not villainous about a zombie?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's not really villainous, but I just want them because they're spooky and fun.
They're not really villainous either.
They're not.
Spoiler alert. They're just misunderstood.
Yeah.
So yeah, Villains Kids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would have
make it less hot. Go ahead.
Yeah. Get on that, Florida. I would have wanted better PhotoPass opportunities.
Sure.
I love PhotoPass and I love getting pictures and stuff, and it's just so fun. And I would have loved just something else. Like, where's Pain and Panic also? Where was Pain and Panic? That was missing from the event.
So what you're saying, what was missing in general was henchmen.
Yes, henchmen.
Yeah.
I love the henchmen.
What is a villain without their henchmen?
Yeah. And also, like, Hades is supposedly running the show. So, like, where are the people running the show with him? Like, they had Meg, but I want Pain and Panic. At least give me, like, a Photoshop with them in it, like you were doing with Oogie Boogie and stuff. Just throw Pain and Panic in it, at least. But...
At least.
Whatever. Did you have a favorite part of the event?
Well, I think I already said it, but yeah, like the unexpected end of it.
Okay.
Like that the villains
That was
were
your
there.
favorite.
Otherwise, favorite part, not event specific, was since it was a media night, kind of meeting all the cool peeps.
Oh yeah.
The Disney vloggers and cool people of the internal Disney world.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, we ran into Craig and Rhino from the Diz.
Mm-hmm. And they gave us a pin, which is super cool.
Yeah. And then we also ran into Jen and Scott from Happiest Vlogs, and also Tim and Jen Tracker. We saw them as well.
Yeah.
So they were all super nice and wonderful, but crazy busy trying to run around the park doing all the things.
It was definitely one of those things where like, oh my god, hi, I know it's media night and you've got a lot to do.
Quick pick, okay, thanks, bye.
And then, yeah. Because they were working essentially. Yeah. But that was, I don't know, for me anyway, it was pretty cool. And because it was like the first one, it was a media night, we had that opportunity to run into them.
Yeah.
It's not going to be replicated again.
Yeah, no, that's really just like a once in a while, maybe you'll hit like that night.
Well, and it was just so weird to see them all at once in the same place at the same time.
And then I'm like, do they talk to each other? Like
they probably do.
They probably do, right?
They probably talk to each other.
Yeah, are they all friends or do they like not? I don't know.
Yeah, or are they just like
what is the vlogger world like?
And then like they turn away and they're like, I hate that guy.
Yeah, like what is it? I don't know, but I probably never will know. But that was a really cool part.
I just thought that was just from my experience,
Yeah.
I thought that was unique. That was pretty cool, unexpected. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part was us trying to drink the llama potion. That was my
and
favorite
just
part.
utterly failing
Yeah.
and spilling all over my shorts that I was going to have to wear like to the
for
airport.
the next million hours.
Oh.
Because like the clothes that we sweat in and stuff, it was I don't even want to talk about that.
We don't need to talk about
That's
that.
just
No.
too much information all over again.
Okay, this is the theme.
So, let's see. I think, would you recommend the event?
So I think as long as your budget fits it, and I think as long as the time fits it, like if you're down there and one of these is going on, I think do it.
Yeah.
If you're there, right? I wouldn't necessarily say make a specific trip out just for this. If you have to travel far,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's worth traveling just for that.
Yeah.
But if you're in the area and one's going on, I say buy a ticket, check it out.
Yeah. Although me personally, I'm like, okay, so if they do this again next summer, we'll fly out on a Thursday afternoon, go to this event, and then have Friday and Saturday in Disney and fly home Sunday.
Most people don't do that,
I
which
know,
is
I'm
why
just
I
being-
said
I'm just being crazy.
That's my take on it. So
I
like,
loved it.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was really good. I would do it again.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go out of my way just to do that specifically.
Sure.
But also, I live in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't live in Florida.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I was in Florida, I wouldn't say I'd go to all 10, but
Yeah.
like I'd be more willing to maybe going a few times rather
I would
than
probably
just...
go twice because I'd want to go first and I'd want to go last when the event was like at its peak.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they figured out all the problems and
It's a smooth
And like I
operation.
hit the merch at the beginning because it's probably all sold out because
It all
ladies
sells
be
out.
buying like 5 tumblers in front of me and they're limited and I'm like, oh my god.
Them ladies, Hades ladies, they
Hades
be
ladies.
buying. They be buying all that merch up. Yep.
So, but I definitely would recommend this event if you like villains, or if you just want to hit all the rides. I think it's a great time to hit the parks when the sun
Honestly,
is down with
here's
low crowds.
Here's the thing. After hours normally is really great for rides.
This is even better.
This is
for
even
rides.
better because everyone's not even in the
Yep,
rides.
Exactly. So if you're
What?
big into rides and this event is available, I would say do it, especially because it's the summer months. Because in summer it's hot, it's crowded, and it rains in the afternoon. So getting
So you get
as much
humid
as you
and
can,
sticky and sweaty and uncomfortable
so
and
getting
angry.
as many rides done as we did during the day in Magic Kingdom is just not possible. So I would say buy a nighttime ticket for this 3-hour event that gives you 6 hours in the park, and you get to see the fireworks and everything still. This is the way to do it.
Yeah.
But if you're a Villains fan, absolutely.
Yeah.
But know that this is a Villains after hours event. So it is not Villains. It is an after hours event with a Villains overlay that you get to see them throughout the park, but it's not just like in your, I don't know, it's not constant. It's not meet and greets. It's not.
It's a sprinkling.
Yeah.
It's a dusting.
It's like they took over, which is super cool, but there's still an aspect of, they didn't.
They're contained a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I would do it again. I recommend it.
Yeah.
For sure. So I think that about wraps up our podcast.
That is. This is a long chat. But
It
I'm
was.
glad we got it all out because
Yeah.
it was definitely fun to talk about.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting to talk about this, and I think because I've been waiting for it so long, this podcast is a little all over the place because I'm too excited, and I love.
But I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I think we covered everything too. So
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like I talked about all I wanted to.
yeah, definitely
Good.
cool.
All right.
So thanks for joining us, guys, and Mother knows best.
Mother knows best.